Stewart said, you should take yours out because otherwise, maybe when you go and try to get it out, it won't be there at all.
Just a question on solvency. In the book, it was saying how liquidity is more important than solvency.
What's the question?
Why is that?
It's not obvious to me that that liquidity is necessarily more important, but I could understand that. So solvency means that it has positive equity, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's positive value in the bank. I would argue that if you have negative solvency, you can actually survive for a while if you have good liquidity. And maybe it's possible that then you can come to a place where you have positive equity again. It can't really go the other way. If you don't have liquidity and people demand liquidity, you will go insolvent very quickly. Because in order to meet that liquidity need, you're going to have to sell things at a bad price, and that's going to erode your equity value. So this is why I think they would make the argument, and I think it's a reasonable argument, that liquidity is more important than solvency. Okay. So this is a bank run when all remaining depositors simultaneously demand their deposited funds. John.
Yeah, with the bank run, so in that equilibrium, if everyone's doing it in their best interest,
That's right.
no one wants to be big. That's only the case if I'm the only one that doesn't take my money out, right?
Yeah.
Everyone else is taking their money out.
Yeah.
I would be better off deviating to take my money out, unless they can pay me the money, which would be the case if everyone's taking the money out. Right?
That's right. Yeah, you got it. You got it. Your intuition's correct. Okay. This is a bank run. This can be thought of as a self-fulfilling prophecy because even a healthy bank, if thought to be insolvent, can become illiquid. This is exactly what I was just saying to Tim. So if we think that a bank doesn't have enough money, that it has negative equity, and depositors freak out and start pulling their money out, pretty soon the bank is illiquid. They don't have the funds that they need in order to operate their business, and that can cause insolvency. Next.
Is there any kind of evidence showing that in the case of bank runs and banks that have become illiquid and insolvent, that they were insolvent to begin with?
Yeah, but it's debatable. It's debatable. We're going to see it we're going to look at Washington Mutual, and there's a debate about whether they were actually insolvent or not when they got seized. It speaks exactly to this question. Okay, really quick. So in this model, I hope that I convince you that there are these two Nash equilibria. Is one of these more socially optimal than the other one? Yeah, which is that everybody leaves their money in the bank, right? This is the foundational idea of finance, that capital flows from those that have it to those that can make the most with that capital. The Nash equilibria where everybody takes their money out of the bank and that breaks down, though a Nash equilibria, that is clearly less optimal than everybody leaving their money in the bank. Amanda.
Well, I was just going to say, in this example, don't people ever think about the government has basically secured their deposits?
Yes, and that's what we're going to talk about. In this world, in this model, we don't have any of that. But this is really a useful way to think about what does FDIC insurance do then? What is it trying to undo? It's trying to avoid getting in this Nash equilibrium where everybody takes their money out of the bank. We're going to talk about that in a second. Okay, so these are the two guys that wrote the model. Thanks. That was a great model. This is Doug Diamond, Philip Didbig. He still looks like this. He's awesome. I saw him at a conference 6 months ago. He's got a ponytail down in the middle of his back. I can't remember where he is right now. He might be a warden. He's a smart, very, very smart guy, but super cool. Okay, bank run. Let's look at two examples. So we're going to look at WAMU and Swedbank. All right. So I said Swedbank before last year. Philip taught me that it's Swedbank. So that's what we say now. Okay, Washington Mutual. As of June 30th, 2008, WAMU had a total assets of $300 billion. 2,200 retail branch offices, just under 5,000 ATMs, and over 43,000 employees. Small bank, big bank. Big bank, huge bank. All right, this is a massive bank. Sometimes we have a sense that bank runs happen to small banks that we've never heard of. I'm going to show you evidence that is consistent with a bank run occurring on WAMU. Yes, Stuart.
I heard Washington Mutual doesn't sell their mortgage loans.
Well, they don't sell anything anymore. They don't exist.
Oh, what? Never mind.
They're purchased by Chase. Yeah, no, they require it. They don't exist as a bank anymore. They don't do anything. I heard they don't raise zombies from the dead either. Okay, let's look at some of the highlights from the balance sheet. Okay, what do they hold? They had $119 billion in single-family loans, $53 billion in adjustable rate mortgages, $16 billion in subprime mortgages, and about $50 billion in HELOCs, lines of credit. Translation, massive exposure to the housing market. Okay, massive, massive exposure. You got single-family residences, adjustable rate mortgages, subprime mortgages, and HELOCs. Okay, their whole book is almost full of exposure to the housing market. Okay, at this time, Wabu was the single biggest savings and loan in the United States. Not a small bank, the biggest savings and loan in the United States of America. Okay, liabilities. They had about $58 billion in loans from the Federal Home Loan Banks. This is a quasi-government organization that loans money that's earmarked specifically for housing. And then just under